So I've been hearing a lot of screams. What the
Those creepy stories your friends swear are true, from ghostly figures stalking through hostel corridors to mysterious creatures hiding just outside your window.
So for today's drink,
these encounters will make you think twice before going into the dark. A wildlife vlogger set out for his usual vlog in the forest, but he had no idea he was about to become the star of a terrifying encounter. While recording, he suddenly heard howling sounds. And when he turned his camera around, he saw it. A giant, dark, hairy creature standing behind him. It was as tall as half the trees. Some viewers online thought it was Bigfoot, while others believed it could be a giant troll. The vlogger didn't stick around to figure it out. He ran as fast as he could, but in his panic, he dropped the camera. Oddly enough, the creature picked it up. The live footage made it out, but the camera is surely never getting back. Cemetery encounter. A gravekeeper working late in the cemetery shared a video online that began with what seemed like an owl sitting on a tree, but as he zoomed in, it quickly turned into something far scarier. The creature didn't look like an owl at all. It seemed more like a cryptid beast or possibly a demon. It was eating something as if it had just made someone its prey. Perhaps it was a demon drawn to the cemetery, feeding off the energy of the dead. That time he was brave enough to capture it on camera, but I bet he will be thinking twice about working late there again. Devil in forest. A team of paranormal investigators decided to explore a forest late at night, drawn by all the spooky rumors. With their gear ready, they wandered through the trees and found an old, abandoned building. Everything seemed fine, until their flashlight caught something near the building. At first, it looked like a person, but a closer look proved it wasn't. Its face was terrifying, like a devil or someone cursed there. Whatever it was, it clearly didn't want them there. The team quickly backed off, leaving the forest behind, but with a story they'd never forget. Forest giant. They had no idea a nightmare had just walked past them. A group of explorers went into a dark forest late at night with a night vision camera. While walking, they felt like something was nearby, but it was too dark to see. Later, when they reviewed the footage, a giant humanoid figure with a tail and a hump showed up on the screen. Some of them thought it was a giant troll, while others believed it was a reptilian humanoid. Luckily, they didn't see each other at the time, otherwise things could have gone way worse. Abandoned village. A group of friends went on a road trip and accidentally ended up in an abandoned village. As they walked around, they spotted a white figure in a robe floating in the air. At first, they tried to talk to it, even calling it to come down, but it didn't move, it didn't speak, it just stayed there, hovering. That's when they knew it was time to leave. Later, they got to know the village was said to be haunted by La Llorona, the weeping woman who wanders at night searching for her lost children. And it was not the first time. Locals nearby claimed they'd seen her whenever they passed from there. Scary shelter in forest. An explorer, lost in the forest, was desperately searching for shelter when he stumbled upon an old, abandoned building. Hoping to find someone inside, he pointed his flashlight toward an open window. Suddenly, a creepy face peeked out. It wasn't human. It looked like something supernatural, with half of its face at the front, while the other half seemed twisted backward. Frozen in shock, the explorer ran as fast as he could. That haunted encounter spread quickly, and now no one dares to visit that area again. Abandoned horror. A ghost hunter decided to explore an abandoned building alone, hoping to capture some proof of the supernatural. As he went deeper inside, he spotted two demonic creatures on the walls, clearly showing their presence to scare him off. But the man wasn't afraid. He kept recording, determined to catch it all on camera. Then out of nowhere, a ghostly girl appeared right beside him. That was the moment he didn't even think for a moment and ran out of there as fast as he could. That's why some places are better left unexplored, especially the abandoned ones. Skull in cupboard. It seemed like the creatures of the dark were now letting their presence be known by their voices, drawing people in. One night, a couple heard an eerie sound coming from their kitchen. It wasn't their dog or cat, it sounded like someone was stuck inside the cupboard.
ここかい。まあ一応なんか映った時のために。
When they opened it, a creepy face like a skull suddenly appeared. But it wasn't just a skull, it was a terrifying figure staring right at them. These dark creatures aren't leaving us alone, no matter where we are. Farmer's fear. Farmer was fed up. His fields had been getting ruined night after night and he had no idea why. So one night he decided to investigate. As he walked through the fields, he spotted a terrifying creature. It was a tall, all-white figure with a bent body, walking on all fours like a creepy ghost. It seemed like a lost spirit with some strange connection to his land, haunting it every night and ruining his hard work. The farmer didn't stick around for long and ran off fast, but it seems that Ghost isn't ready to leave anytime soon. Hidden grave. A team of ghost hunters decided to check out a cave one night, thinking they'd just find some old, abandoned spots. But what they found was way creepier than they expected. They stumbled upon a grave, and as they got closer, a dark figure appeared, sitting right above it. The figure's eyes were glowing red. Definitely not something you want to see up close, but perhaps it was the spirit of the person buried there, now back in a creepy new form. Or the grave somehow was under possession of a demon, now using the deceased body. They tried to talk to it, but it didn't respond. At that point, they figured getting out of there was their best bet. Demon in house. Living in the forest often means facing its scary side, and one family got a taste of that nightmare. One night, they noticed a demonic creature appearing on their garage wall, slowly sneaking inside their house. It could have been a demon guarding the forest, or even an angry forest spirit upset at the intruders disturbing its domain. People online recognized it as an oni, a horned demon from Japanese folklore known for bringing misfortune and terror. Either way, it's clear, staying in that house any longer would be a foolish decision. Disturbing night. After a long day, the man finally went to sleep, but things weren't as peaceful as he thought. His CCTV camera caught a creepy woman peeking through his window. The spirit wasn't done though. It threw a bowl across the room, waking him up. He rushed to check, but found nothing. Thinking it was just a bad dream, he went back to sleep. But the spirit wasn't done. It kept coming back, moving the curtains, making noise, and peeking from the other side of the window. It was clear. The spirit didn't want him there and would keep disturbing him until he left. Scary welcome. A newly enrolled student in the hostel was just looking out from his balcony when he spotted something strange. At first, it looked like a girl, but when he looked again, it got a lot creepier. She was wearing a white gown, her long, messy hair covering her face. And then she just stared at him for a second before slowly moving away. Later, he got to know the hostel was built over a graveyard, and that same spirit had been spotted by others. He wasn't the first one to get a spooky welcome. Glowing eyes. In a house, a homeowner had a terrifying experience. One night, he noticed two glowing eyes staring at him from the darkness, almost as if they were trying to communicate. The eerie eyes never blinked and seemed to watch his every move. Soon, the video of the strange encounter went viral, and people online started speculating that it could be a djinn trying to enter the man's body. Now, everyone's left wondering, is this the start of something bigger? Maybe the next house this spirit visits could be yours. Ghostly welcome. A family was excited about their new house, but their excitement quickly turned to fear when one evening, a woman saw a pale face peeking through the door. It wasn't just any face, it seemed like it was a ghost warning them to leave. After this chilling encounter, they found out the house was haunted. It's a better idea to do some digging before settling into a new place. They also will not likely stick around after it. Lost spirit. During a camping trip in the forest, a group of friends thought they might encounter wild animals. However, as they walked through the trees, they saw a woman standing alone. They assumed she was lost and decided to approach her. But as they got closer, reality hit. They were not face to face with a lost woman. The figure before them was a ghost, known for haunting that forest. The group quickly left, and their plans for a peaceful night were ruined. After that encounter, they weren't about to stay another night in those woods. Dark forest encounter. After a few people went missing, the locals decided it was time to do something. They went into the forest hoping to find answers, but what they found was beyond anything they expected. Behind the rocks, they spotted it. A dark, deformed humanoid figure. Its face looked all wrong, like it wasn't fully formed. Then it did something strange. It raised a finger and pointed straight at them. Nobody knew what it meant, but it was enough to make them step back. Feeling unprepared, they decided to leave and return with better gear. But with that figure still there, it will not be an easy return. Terrifying inheritance. Abandoned houses often hide scary secrets, and this incident proved it. A man visited his inherited old house, but as he approached one of the doors, he froze. A terrifying figure was standing there, still as a statue, cloaked in darkness. It looked like the nun from the Conjuring series had come to life. Perhaps years of emptiness turned the house into a home for this ghostly presence. The man did not wait for a second and managed to escape safely. Not every inheritance is worth keeping. Unexpected passenger. It's always a good idea to turn around if something feels off on an empty road. A man heading home never expected to face anything out of the ordinary, but as he glanced at his bike's side mirror, he realized something terrifying. He wasn't riding alone. There was a creepy, scary face right beside him. What happened to that man after that is unknown, but one thing is certain, he wasn't alone that night. Would you have kept riding, or would you have turned around? Sneaking alien. A camper in the jungle stepped outside his tent and turned on his camera to capture some shorts. Suddenly he noticed something or someone moving nearby. He ran to catch up and see who it was, but found no one. Later, as he reviewed the footage, he spotted a green humanoid figure slowly creeping through the area. It looked like an alien, quietly passing without being noticed. Now it's not just wild animals you need to watch out for while camping. Seems like otherworldly visitors are joining the scene too. Ghostly follower. A ghost hunter went inside a forest, hoping to catch some proof of paranormal activity. While he was looking around with his flashlight, he spotted a gray figure peeking out from behind a tree. Creeped out, he decided not to go any closer. Later, when he reviewed the footage in grayscale, things got even scarier. It had a deformed face with huge empty eye sockets. Maybe it was a ghost following him. Honestly, it didn't seem done with him. Maybe it's still out there, waiting for another chance to appear. Cave beast. During a trip to forest, a group of friends came across a mysterious cave. Curious, they decided to check it out, but as they stepped closer, they accidentally disturbed something terrifying. A giant reptilian beast resting inside. Its skeletal body and piercing eyes looked ancient, as if it had been hiding there for centuries to avoid being discovered. The friends fled the cave and didn't stop running until they were far away. One thing's for sure, they won't be planning any adventurous trips in their entire life. Hidden alien. You might expect a beautiful view in the mountains, but surely not this. A hiker, lost and trying to find his way back, spotted a creature behind the rocks. It looked exactly like the gray aliens we've all heard about. Elongated head, gray body, and those big dark eyes. Maybe its partners left and forgot to take it back. It was constantly trying to hide its face, as if it was just as scared of humans as we are of it. The hiker stepped back, leaving the mystery behind, but with an unforgettable story. Ghostly baby. A family had been hearing a baby crying in their house every night. The weird part? There was no baby living there. So one night, they placed a mobile camera on the floor to see what was going on. The next morning, they checked the footage and what they saw freaked them out. A ghostly baby crawled straight toward the camera and stared right into it. It had sharp teeth and a creepy face. Some people think it could be the spirit of a lost child, while others say it's something darker, pretending to be a baby. Either way, the family now knows they need to get help fast. Creepy beast. A man was relaxing at a newly built farmhouse near the forest, hoping for a calm day, but things took a chilling turn. He spotted a strange creature creeping across the lawn on all fours. It didn't look like any animal he'd ever seen. Its form was unnatural, almost like something from old folklore. Some say it could be a cryptid, a legendary beast from forest tales. Luckily, the creature didn't notice the man and disappeared into the woods. But with it so close to human space, who knows if it will return and what might happen if someone crosses its path. Horned mystery. An old cave held a chilling secret, and a tourist's drone revealed it. While flying the drone deeper into the cave, the tourist spotted something alarming, a horned creature lurking in the shadows. At first, it looked like a bull, but its strange, unsettling features were more like the Minotaur, the mythical monster from ancient legends said to be defeated by Theseus. If such a creature truly exists, perhaps the cave should be explored further to reveal what else lies hidden in the dark. Swamp monster. Take a look at this wild encounter. A local was passing through a swamp when he spotted something strange on the other side. At first, it looked like a giant ape angrily hitting the ground as if it was upset about something. But here's the creepy part. When he zoomed in with his camera, it looked more like a yeti, a huge and wild creature. Some say it might have been hiding there all along, only showing itself that day. Was it angry or just trying to send a message? Haunted hostel. A boy was heading to his hostel room when something chilling happened. On the stairs, he noticed a dark figure, a shadowy silhouette of a woman. Before he could react, the figure suddenly moved lower and closer, like a shadow coming to life. Terrified, the boy ran as fast as he could, but no matter where he went, the ghostly woman appeared right in front of him. Some say it could be a lost spirit tied to a tragic incident from the hostel's past. Whatever it was, it seemed clear. She didn't want anyone there. Would you dare to stay in that hostel? Gargoyle or ghost? In Germany, a man was walking through a parking lot when he spotted an odd figure. At first, it looked like a small, hunched old woman slowly walking along. But then, the scariest part happened. She suddenly spread huge wings, revealing she was definitely not human. Locals think it could be a gargoyle-like creature tied to ancient legends about beings that guard or haunt certain places. After that encounter, he will surely not park his car there again. Even the bravest person would make the same decision. Forest mystery. A man living deep in the forest reviewed the CCTV footage from his home one night. Out of nowhere, a strange furry creature appeared in front of the camera. It looked like something straight out of a Scandinavian myth, a troll, or even a giant goblin. The creature walked slowly, as if tired, searching for a place to rest. But as soon as it noticed the camera, it became angry and charged toward it. Just then, the footage cut off. Some believe the camera stopped working due to the creature's supernatural powers. This proof might be scary, but it's definitely something that could help with an investigation. Lavita Witch. It was a normal evening when a man suddenly heard strange sounds coming from above his roof, almost like someone was walking on it. Curious, he stepped outside and froze in shock. There, hovering above his roof, was a humanoid figure glowing with fiery energy in its hands and feet. It looked like a witch, and she seemed ready to do something bad. The moment she noticed the man, she flew away. It looked like she had been trying to curse the house, but luckily, he caught her just in time. Spooky witch. Late one night, a man heard creepy sounds, almost like a monster had come into town. Curious, he stepped outside to see who or what was causing the noise. At first, he spotted a figure that looked like a person in a black robe, but when it turned to him, its face said it all. It looked like a witch. Terrified, the man ran back home, locking the windows and doors behind him. Would you have had the courage to check outside, or would you stay safe inside? Great creature. An explorer was wandering through the forest when he came across an old, ruined building. Just as he was about to step inside, he saw a gray figure pass by, almost like a skeleton walking in the shadows. Some speculated it could be an alien that had made this place its home, or maybe its partners too hiding there, while others believed it was a ghostly figure haunting the building. The man didn't dare go inside to find out, and honestly, that was probably a wise move. Cursed soul. A group of friends were playing Truth or Dare, and they dared each other to check out a basement that hadn't been opened in years. They hesitated, but curiosity got the better of them. When they opened the door to one of the rooms, they saw a figure dressed in a black robe. At first, they thought it was just someone messing around, but when it turned its face, they were frozen in fear. It wasn't a person at all. It was a terrifying, ghostly figure straight out of their worst nightmares. Perhaps it was a cursed soul trapped by its own evil deeds. The Dare revealed how long they had been living with this, unknowingly sharing their home with a dark presence. Giant Crypted. Ever thought if cryptids could still exist? While on a boat ride in an Indonesian lake, tourists were enjoying the peaceful view when suddenly they heard a terrifying roar. Looking toward the mountains, they saw something massive rise up from behind them, almost like a cryptid had just appeared.
Detengan el barco.
For a moment, they thought this could be the end, but to their relief, the giant creature went back down behind the mountains. Authorities have been alerted, and they're now on the lookout, trying to find this mysterious beast. Chased by Bigfoot. A boy was walking down a path near a mountain hotel when he caught something creepy on camera. Out of nowhere, a giant hairy creature stepped out from the trees. It looked just like Bigfoot. Terrified, he ran back, and the video abruptly cut off. No one really knows what happened to him after that. Some even suspect the hotel authorities might be covering it up to avoid the bad publicity. The hotel has been sealed off for further investigations. Woods Watcher. A woodcutter went deep into the forest looking for some woods. Suddenly, he noticed a massive figure hiding behind a tree. Its enormous size made it impossible to stay hidden for long. It looked like Bigfoot, silently watching him, as if waiting for the right moment to get closer. The woodcutter didn't stick around to find out what would happen next. Now, no one dares to enter that part of the forest alone. Rooftop Ghost. You'd expect your neighbor to be walking around at night, but after this, you might want to be extra careful. A local saw a figure moving on the roof of a house, and at first they thought it was just a neighbor. But how could someone walk all in white at night, especially on a roof? Turns out it wasn't a person at all. It was the ghost of a lady who passed away in a nearby accident. Now she haunts the area, wandering the rooftops at night. Just a reminder to be careful and pay attention to what's around you at night. Faceless Figure. A tourist was warned by locals to stay away from the abandoned woods, but curiosity got the best of him, and he decided to explore anyway. Deep in the woods, he came across a lady with long hair. Nothing too strange at first, but then he realized something terrifying. She had no face, just two empty eyes staring back at him. It was the figure of a kuntilanak, a vengeful spirit from local folklore. The video cut off abruptly, and the tourist was never seen again. The only thing left behind was his camera, with that chilling footage still hauntingly captured. Poong. It's not always peaceful when you're out for a walk in the countryside. A local was enjoying the fresh air when something caught his eye. A white cloth draped over a tower. At first, he thought it was just a flag or something caught in the wind, but it didn't move. Curious, he zoomed in on his camera only to realize it wasn't a cloth at all. It was a Poong, a ghost wrapped in a funeral shroud staring back at him. Scary, isn't it? Ghostly Wanderer. A cleaner was doing his usual rounds, tidying up the streets when he noticed something strange. A man was walking towards him, but something was off about his appearance. The figure was dressed entirely in white, covered from head to toe. At first, he thought it was a robe, but then it hit him. This wasn't just any person. It was a Poong. Yes, the ghost you have seen before wrapped in a funeral cloth, and now it was out on the streets walking like any other passerby. Maybe you'll come across one on your way next time. Haunting Lady. In an abandoned building, a local spotted a lady sitting calmly. At first, he thought she might be lost, but something didn't sit right. She was sitting perfectly still, her hair flowing freely, all dressed in white cloth. It didn't take long for him to realize it wasn't just any lady, it was a spirit. Terrified, he ran out of the building, only to find out later that the site had been built on a graveyard. Now it's haunted by restless spirits. Would you dare to step inside now? Missing Camper. A family was camping in the forest late at night when their son stepped outside. He didn't expect to encounter anything unusual, but what he saw was beyond belief. A pale humanoid figure was there. It had no facial features, just a blank appearance. The boy managed to record the scary scene and share it online, but after that, he vanished. The family never saw him again. Many who saw the video speculated it could be a skinwalker or perhaps an alien that abducted him away from Earth. Stalker's mistake. Don't think about stalking your neighbors, it's not always what you expect to see. A woman was curious to check if his neighbor was home, so she looked through the window, but when she opened the window, a black shadow stood right there. She quickly slammed the window shut, knowing something sinister was lurking. The video went viral, and it was later revealed that the neighbor was possessed. After that, it's hard to imagine she could sleep peacefully that night. Tree watcher. Banana trees are the last place you'd expect to find something scary, right? But for one farmer, that wasn't the case. He spotted a creepy face peeking out from the trees. It had wild, messy hair and glowing red eyes staring right at him. It looked like a mischievous spirit had shifted from the nearby forest straight into his farm, and just when he tried to record it, his phone got off and the video ended abruptly, almost as if the spirit didn't want to be caught. Safe to say, those banana trees aren't so harmless anymore. Headless Bride. Some roads carry not just traffic, but tragic past stories linked to them. A man was driving down an empty, abandoned road late night when he saw someone walking ahead. But as he got closer, shockingly, it was a girl in a bridal dress with no head. Without wasting a second, he sped past, leaving the chilling sight behind. When he later shared the story, locals revealed the truth. It was the spirit of a bride who tragically lost her life in an accident on that same road on her wedding day. Open discussion. Not every day you spot something this bizarre outside your window. One evening, a man looked outside and spotted a creepy creature coming out of the nearby woods. It walked like a human, but here's the creepy part. It had a lizard-like tail and freakish hump on neck. Was it a reptilian humanoid, an alien looking for a hiding spot? He didn't dare step outside to find out. Instead, he recorded the bizarre creature and shared it. Now, local authorities are searching, but so far, the video's all they've got. Those woods are now on everyone's no-go list. Thank you very much for watching the video. Share in the comments which video was scary for you. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos.